No, but I will say this. I had no problem with the majority draw, and I would not have had a problem if Roach had been given the fight. Because when Tank took that knee, that's a knockdown in boxing. If your knee touches the canvas, it's a knock. I don't give a damn what the reason was. Whether it's grease in your eye or whatever it is. Nope, that's a knockdown. You can't, if your knee touches, that's a knockdown, which means it should have been a 2-point round. Since it was that close, to me, that should have been a knockdown. Having said that, let me stand up. Shannon, Ocho, I got to apologize on national television to that brother Lamont Roach. I didn't give him much of a chance in this fight because I thought he was the smaller guy moving up. I didn't expect him to be in the ring bigger. And from opening bell, he walked right to Tank Davis. I was stunned, and the brother can fight.
You've been in the NFL 15 years, bud. I know when a guy takes a knee, that's a fair catch. But it's not a timeout in boxing. Unless somebody wrote a rule when I was sleeping and they put in a new rule in there, that is not a rule. And all of a sudden, he decides to go over to the sideline and just check with Bill Belichick. But there's no timeouts. Wait a minute. You can't do that. Nah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. You can't do it. There's a rule. There's enforcement. You would blow the game. You can't do it. But that's what Tank Davis, who, I have him as a top pound-for-pound fighter in the top 5. And that's what he did. He had something in his eyes, said he had grease. Okay, fine. But this is not the Indianapolis 500. There's no pit stops. There's no pit crew. You can't take a knee and go over and get your face wiped, which he did, and the referee doesn't know what's going on, and the referee lets it happen, and poor Roach, has a chance for a huge upset, minus 1,600, plus 1,600, I'm sorry. The Roach was actually plus 900. You know how the bookie stuff works. You get back 900, and you got to lay 1,600 if you got Tank. So it winds up being a draw. Anyway, you will take us, before you take us through this whole stuff and the order that you want to take us, bud.
And things like that. It was a good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I can get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw, it is what it is type shit, I ain't hating on the decision. I ain't shitting on the decision. But I did feel like Lamont Roach did win, pull it off. But the counters and shit, man, let me counter. Man, it's just some shit, you just can't do it. Shouts out to that event, though. It was a great event at the end of the day.
Gervonta Davis demands a rematch after a shocking draw with Lamont Roach, feeling like he was robbed of victory. The boxing world is on fire as fans argue whether the judges got it wrong or if Roach truly stood his ground against the powerhouse Davis. Gervonta Davis, clearly frustrated with the result, shared his thoughts on the draw. He stated, nobody likes a draw, from a guy that gets knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more. Davis isn't hiding his disappointment, and his words make it clear. He believes he could have done better. Fans of both fighters are already debating whether Roach truly deserved the draw or if Davis simply didn't bring his best. The tension between the two camps is growing, and the demand for a rematch is getting louder. Many believe this fight didn't settle anything and only added more fuel to an already heated rivalry. If they step into the ring again, Davis will have a point to prove, and Roach will have to show the world that the draw wasn't just luck. With Gervonta Davis demanding a rematch and feeling robbed, the fight's outcome has caused more than just frustration. It has also altered his future plans. Davis had previously hinted at retiring in 2025, but after this controversial draw, he now says he has more fights left in him. The rematch with Lamont Roach is at the top of his list, but Davis is now looking beyond just settling this score. The unexpected result has reignited his hunger, pushing back his retirement plans and setting up what could be a defining stretch in his career. Instead of walking away as originally planned, Davis now envisions at least 4 more fights before calling it quits.
Yeah, it definitely changed my plans. It definitely changed my plans. I probably got like 4 more fights now, for sure.
Davis's words signal a major shift in his career trajectory. What was supposed to be a farewell tour is now turning into a renewed mission. The draw against Roach, which many expected to be a dominant win for Davis, has forced him to reassess his legacy. If he plans to continue fighting beyond 2025, it means he's no longer just thinking about retirement. He's thinking about solidifying his place among the all-time greats. The rematch with Roach is a must, but now fans are left wondering who else will be on his hit list before he hangs up the gloves. Whether it's unfinished business or a new level of motivation, one thing is certain: Davis isn't done yet, and the boxing world will be watching closely. With Gervonta Davis extending his career plans and focusing on a rematch, Lamont Roach isn't concerned with Davis's frustrations. He sees things differently. He believes he did enough to secure the win and isn't backing down from his stance. Roach has been vocal about his confidence leading up to the fight, and now, after going toe-to-toe with Davis, he feels justified in his claims. He came in as the underdog, but in his mind, he proved he belonged among the best. The fight was intense, and Roach believes his skill set outshined Davis's power. Many fans were surprised by how well he handled the challenge, making a strong case for himself in the division. As the debate rages on, Roach stands firm, eager for another chance to prove he's the better fighter.
I mean, obviously, I want to go back and watch it, but clearly in there, man, I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Roach's words add more fuel to the fire, making a rematch feel almost inevitable. His confidence isn't just talk. He truly believes he outboxed Davis and deserved his hand raised. The support he's getting from boxing purists and underdog believers only strengthens his case. While Davis is pushing for redemption, Roach sees it as an opportunity to silence any doubters once and for all. If a rematch happens, it won't just be another fight. It will be a battle to settle the score. Davis will be coming in with something to prove, but Roach will be stepping back into the ring determined to take what he feels was already his. The first fight left questions unanswered, and now the boxing world is waiting for the next chapter. The fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach wasn't just another matchup. It was a battle between two highly skilled fighters who knew exactly what was at stake. While Davis felt robbed and Roach believed he had done enough to win, their trainers' perspectives bring even more insight into the war inside the ring. Barry Hunter, Davis's trainer, has long been aware of Roach's talent and knew this fight would be anything but easy. Coming from the same DMV area, these two fighters have been molded in a culture of intense competition where no one backs down. This wasn't just about belts or rankings, it was about proving dominance in a rivalry that has been brewing for years. Both fighters came in prepared, and what unfolded was a war of skill, heart, and determination. Now, as the dust settles, the talk of a rematch is already taking center stage.
Yeah, it was a spirited fight. And if you remember early on when we spoke at the Barclays, and actually on the All Access, I told you then, Lamont is a very skillful fighter. He can fight, he's from the area. In that DMV area, there's a lot of talent, and nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to lose. So I knew it was gonna be a hard fight. This has been going on forever. We all help each other. They know our strengths, they know our secrets, we know theirs, and vice versa. So that is what made for a good fight. I thought it was a great fight, spirited fight, and I like to see it run back again.
Hunter's words make it clear this fight was never going to be one-sided, and it lived up to every expectation. He acknowledged Roach's skills and toughness, reinforcing that this wasn't an easy night for Davis. The history between these fighters runs deep, and that familiarity made the fight even more intense. Each man knew the other's strengths and weaknesses, making every round a battle of adjustments. In the end, Hunter believes the fight was great for the sport and that it deserves to be run back. With both camps confident in their fighters' abilities, a rematch feels more like a necessity than just a possibility. If they step into the ring again, expect an even bigger showdown, one where neither side will settle for anything less than a definitive victory. The conversation around the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight isn't slowing down, and Davis's trainer Barry Hunter has even more to say about what went down inside the ring. He has always respected Roach's skills, and after this fight, he he made it clear that Roach was never going to be an easy opponent. While Davis is known for his explosive knockouts, Roach's technical ability and fight IQ created a tough challenge. Hunter believes there were moments when Davis could have done more, especially on the inside, but overall, this fight was a chess match between two skilled boxers. Despite the controversy surrounding the result, one thing is certain: this was a high-level contest that pushed both fighters to their limits. Hunter isn't dwelling on what could have been. Instead, he's focused on what's next, and for him, what's next should be a rematch. He stated, "Lamont Roach was never a cheap date, so we knew that going into this fight. I thought there were times, there were opportunities when we were inside. We should have taken advantage of a few things on the inside, but for the most part, this was a fight based on strategy." Hunter emphasized that Roach was never an easy opponent, and this fight proved just that. While Davis had his moments, Hunter acknowledges that there were missed opportunities, particularly in close-range exchanges. He believes that in a rematch, adjustments can be made to capitalize on those moments. This wasn't just a brawl, it was a fight built on strategy, and both teams came in with a solid game plan. But now, with the first fight leaving so many questions unanswered, Hunter wants another chance for Davis to prove himself. He isn't making excuses. He just wants his fighter to have the opportunity to make the necessary changes and show the world what he's truly capable of. With both sides eager for a second fight, the demand for a rematch is only growing stronger. As the dust settles from the intense battle between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, Davis is taking a hard look at his own performance. While his trainer Barry Hunter pointed out missed opportunities, Davis himself isn't shying away from accountability. He knows he had the power and skill to end the fight decisively, but feels he didn't capitalize on key moments. Davis is known for his knockout ability, yet this time, the fight went the distance, leaving him frustrated with his own execution. Instead of blaming the judges or making excuses, he's taking full responsibility for the result. He believes that if he had pushed harder at the right moments, the outcome could have been very different. Now, with talk of a rematch heating up, Davis is determined to make sure he doesn't make the same mistakes again.
I could have stopped him. I could have stopped him. It's me. It's me. Definitely my fault. Definitely my fault.
Davis's words show a rare moment of self-reflection from a fighter who is usually confident in his dominance. He knows the expectations were high, and a draw wasn't the result he or his fans wanted. Admitting fault isn't a sign of weakness. It's a signal that he's ready to come back stronger. If a rematch happens, Davis will likely be more aggressive, looking to prove that he should have finished Roach the first time. This level of self-awareness adds even more intrigue to a potential second fight. Fans now wonder if Davis will use this as motivation to come back with a statement victory, or if Roach will use this as proof that he belongs at the top. Either way, the rematch is shaping up to be even bigger than the first fight. With Gervonta Davis taking responsibility for not finishing the fight, Lamont Roach is standing firm in his belief that he proved himself in the ring. He wasn't just there to survive, he came in with confidence, knowing he had the durability and skill to hang with one of boxing's biggest punchers. Roach had been tested in sparring against much bigger fighters, including world champions, so he never doubted his ability to take Davis's power. Many expected him to crumble under the pressure, but instead, he showed resilience and composure. He understood the danger Davis presented, but rather than backing down, he adapted and found success in the exchanges. Roach wasn't just trying to go the distance, he believed he was winning rounds and proving he could compete at the highest level.
I just think, going into the fight, I knew I had what it takes. Like I said, I knew I had a chin. I spar guys that were like junior middleweights, like current champions that was at that weight. So I know I can take a punch. He's twitchy in there. Like I do see why he knocked people out. I mean, like being up close and personal. Obviously, I seen it on the TV and shit like that, but I understand why he knocked people out. I'm not gonna tell y'all because y'all gonna tell him. But like, I just knew that I can be in there, and I knew that I can do better than him to win rounds, win exchanges, because he fight in spurts.
Roach's words make it clear. He was never intimidated by Davis. While many fighters fold under the pressure of his knockout power, Roach embraced the challenge and found ways to stay competitive. He recognized Davis's explosiveness up close, something he had only seen from the outside before, but he never felt overwhelmed. Instead, he used his own strengths to win key moments in the fight. Roach believes he proved more than just toughness. He believes he outboxed Davis in crucial exchanges. Now, with a rematch on the horizon, he's more confident than ever that he can do even better the next time around. This isn't just about running it back. It's about Roach proving that the draw wasn't a fluke and that he truly belongs among the best. As the conversation around the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight continues, more details are emerging about what happened in the ring. While Davis has taken responsibility for not finishing the fight, his trainer, Barry Hunter, has revealed an unexpected issue that may have affected his performance. During the fight, Davis was seen turning away and taking a knee, something that surprised both fans and commentators. Many Many wondered if it was due to exhaustion or an injury, but Hunter has now explained that it was something entirely different. According to him, a chemical from Davis's hair, possibly from the braiding process, mixed with sweat and ran into his eyes, causing intense burning. This unexpected situation threw everyone off guard, including Davis himself. While it didn't take away from Roach's strong performance, it was a factor that disrupted Davis in the middle of a crucial fight.
You know, I can't speak to that, but because I don't have hair. But apparently, you know, he had his hair braided, and they put some kind of chemical, I don't know if it's some whole juice, I don't know what y'all call it. But with the sweat and the heat and all, it ran down into his eyes. And when he came, he turned around, he took a knee, and he was complaining about his eyes burning. And when Calvin wiped his eyes, it was still burning. So that's what happened in that situation. And that caught all of us off guard. In the amateurs, you can get away with that.
Hunter's explanation adds another layer to the fight, showing that Davis was dealing with more than just Roach's pressure. While Davis never used this as an excuse, it's clear that the burning sensation in his eyes played a role in how he reacted at that moment. As more details emerge about the fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, Davis's team is analyzing every aspect of his performance. His trainer, Barry Hunter, has already spoken about the unexpected issue with Davis's eyes, but he also believes there was another factor at play: focus. Throughout the fight, there were moments where Davis seemed hesitant, not pushing the pace like he usually does. While he showed flashes of his power and skill, something was missing in his usual aggressive style. Hunter admits that they struggled to understand why Davis wasn't fully picking up the intensity at key moments. In a fight this close, those small lapses made all the difference. While Davis still had strong rounds, Hunter believes that slight hesitation played a role in why the judges saw the fight as a draw. Now, their focus is on correcting that mistake and making sure it doesn't happen again. He stated, "He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up, right? And so I think it was maybe a lack of focus just for a little bit, and we'll fix that. But nevertheless, I think that, made that fight a draw." Hunter's assessment suggests that Davis's performance wasn't just about what Roach did, it was also about what Davis didn't do. A slight lapse in focus, combined with Roach's determination, turned what could have been a clear win into a fight that left everyone debating the result. The good news for Davis is that this is something that can be fixed. If the rematch happens, expect a different approach, with Davis more locked in and aggressive from the start. Roach, on the other hand, now knows he belongs at this level and will be coming in even more confident. With both fighters and their teams looking for redemption, the rematch isn't just wanted, it feels necessary. With Gervonta Davis continuing to reflect on his performance, he isn't holding back on his thoughts about Lamont Roach. Davis claims that Roach was too slow and that he should have easily taken advantage of that. While he acknowledges that Roach wasn't super slow, he still believes that his speed, or lack of it, shouldn't have been an issue for him. Davis criticizes himself for spending too much time boxing instead of pressing forward and punishing Roach when the opportunities were there. He suggests that he gave Roach too much respect early on instead of imposing his power. This frustration adds to the growing tension between the two fighters, as Davis feels he underperformed against an opponent he believes he should have beaten convincingly.
Damn, this guy like super slow. Well, not super slow, but he's slow, and I could have took advantage of the moments. But I think I was boxing too much in the beginning.
Davis's comments downplay Roach's abilities, making it clear that he doesn't see him as a real threat. By calling Roach slow, Davis is setting the tone for a rematch where he plans to be more aggressive and dominant. He regrets not capitalizing on Roach's weaknesses and now wants another shot to prove he can do what he should have done the first time. However, Roach won't take these words lightly. Being dismissed like this will only fuel his motivation, making the rematch even more personal. With Davis feeling like he let Roach off the hook and Roach believing he did enough to win, the stage is set for an even bigger showdown. The rivalry between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach is far from over. What was supposed to be a statement win for Davis turned into one of the most controversial fights of his career. Now, both fighters are locked in a battle of words, each believing they deserve to walk away as the true winner. Davis, frustrated with the draw, is determined to prove that he simply had an off night, while Roach stands firm, confident that he outboxed one of the most feared fighters in the sport. With a rematch feeling inevitable, both men will have something to prove when they step into the ring again. Davis wants to silence any doubts and reclaim his dominance, while Roach is ready to show that his performance was no fluke. What do you think? Was the draw the right decision? Or do you believe one fighter clearly deserved the win? Should Davis have been more aggressive, or did Roach's technical skills expose weaknesses in his game? Will the rematch be different, or is Roach now a legitimate threat to Davis's legacy? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.